All right. Put some folks in. It's 5 till. Welcome. Anshuman, I think we talked last week. Unless there's
Yes,
different.
we did.
Welcome back. Did you come just to watch the show again, or were you trying to get in touch with us because you had some questions and stuff?
Well, that's my dad's part, but I actually I'm coming in as my friend because my friend signed up, but I forgot to change my name.
That's cool. Well, you're here for the ROTC Air Force over in Sickles, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for showing up. And just to be clear, I know the fundraiser shows share this with Master Sergeant Will, but the fundraisers for the homeowners, right? You're welcome to come as many times as you want to and learn. You don't have to be a homeowner to be on, but just so you know, like the fundraisers for the actual person who owns the home. Are you here just for fun, or will this be a waste of your time if it's not creating a donation?
Well, I don't know what to answer for that.
Because we have a lot of folks that join us, but we would quickly lose the ability to be able to give donations to homeowners if we had a lot of folks who didn't own homes joining. And so as a young person who's doing an honorable thing, training to serve, working in the ROTC, we're glad to have you. We're glad to give as much money as we possibly can to your entire group. But let the folks know that are signing their parents up. Their parents need to be the ones on here for the thing. Hate to be a bomber, Anshuman. Did you
Right.
hop off?
I just changed my name to Naveen. He's actually my dad's best friend and he's a homeowner. So, but he was not free and he told me if I could attend it for him.
Well, not to receive the donation, no, but you're welcome to attend, to tell him that it's a good idea to attend and invite him whenever you want to. But the person who owns the home has to be on. This is something that took us like 3 years to learn, by the way. When we started out, it's like, oh yeah, here's a donation, great. They were like, oh man, there's a lot of people who aren't homeowners. They were just gaming our system. So we've given away thousands of dollars, but we're glad to give as many donations as we possibly can because we love having these conversations. So for those of y'all who are joining us right now, thank you for the awkwardness you're able to hear. You got to hear the worst part about it. We don't say no to much. We love the sun. We love giving money to good causes. It's grateful for y'all being here. Thank you for being on time. We'll get started at the top of the hour because we know folks who actually show up on time, value their time, and we promise to respect yours as well and create this for y'all. The fundraising part will be over in under 15 minutes, if you're wondering how long this will last. And then the solar conversation, based on whatever y'all share with me, can last for as long as you would like it to, from 0 minutes, if I bore you, to we could be talking the rest of the night. I don't have anything else to do. You're my last group, and I'm glad to have y'all. So, but it's up to y'all, however long it lasts. Ovanova is optional. So you can breathe. This isn't like a timeshare situation. And what were you going to say, Anshuman?
Mr. Crafton, do you want Mr. Naveen to log in on Zoom?
Yeah. And show his face and introduce himself, and your ROTC will get a donation.
All right, okay. So I'm gonna leave the meeting, and he is probably gonna get on the Zoom.
Okay, well, we'd love to see him, and thank you for being so diligent and inviting people on, and thanks again for being an ROTC member. As an American, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just accept my request, all right?
All right. And then we do these 6 times a week. You're always welcome to come back to another one, or these people can at a time that's better for them as well. But we got 1 minute till we get started. And now we don't have any more minutes because the clock says 8 o'clock. Is there anybody here who is not okay with starting on time? Good. Carlos is like, nope, we can start on time. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, do you guys see a picture of me, but a little grumpy looking, and then a guy with sunglasses and a bow tie and some dinosaurs or whatever's going on in the background, maybe some Star Wars stuff. Well, that's me. I'm Lester. That's my partner, John. And we've been working together for about 15 years. And about half a decade ago, we decided to ask ourselves this weird question, which is, if we were trying to be as helpful as possible, what would we do? And we just figured out that you basically need energy to do anything, no matter how helpful or unhelpful you are. And it would be kind of cool if we could get that energy from the sun. And then the more we learned about it, the more we ask ourselves, like, why isn't everybody doing this already? And so we just wanted to create a fun way to be able to have a conversation with y'all about it. So consider this the beginning of your solar exploration journey, and the path goes for as long as you would like it to, but it begins by doing something good for the communities who invited you. And so the fundraiser, as promised, is as easy as showing up. You guys are not driving. You got your camera on. So if you can introduce yourself, tell us the organization you're supporting, and then if you don't mind contributing to the conversation about why y'all aren't using solar already, or why you think other people aren't, if you don't want to speak from a place of I. And that's all it takes. So who would like to go first to kick off the conversation part and tell us where to go? It's always tough to have the first one, then it gets easy. All right, I see a hand raiser. Can't see your name on the screen, but go for it, hand raiser. Giselle.
Giselle. Hi, I'm Giselle. When you say location, you mean like city, state?
Yeah, you in Miami, Virginia. We have people from all over.
Okay. I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm not currently using solar, I think because of the upfront costs. So it seems like overwhelming. And I think that's probably what most people think of first is the cost that's involved. And your other question was?
Who are you supporting tonight?
Oh, and I'm supporting Somerset Academy Bay.
So Bay, you guys are going to get that sports court. There ought to be an article in the Miami Herald or something about the amount of good that your school has done. We've talked to probably close to 150 people now from SoBay. I don't know.
Awesome.
But y'all have done a great job of spreading awareness of solar in your community. So thank you for the opportunity. And as far as the upfront cost, does anybody here know what the minimum upfront cost for going solar is nowadays?
Hi, I'm just joining in. I'm Christina Swingas. I'm also supporting Somerset Academy Bay. And I think I can answer your question. I received a proposal. I kind of thought it was within the $30,000 range, but mine came back pretty high. It was $60,000.
Cool. Well, I'll be glad to talk about that with you individually or wherever. So are you Christina, and Kylie's your daughter? Did I spell your name correctly?
Yes.
So the upfront, are you talking about the upfront cost or the overall cost?
Oh, I guess that was the overall cost that I looked at. But yeah, the installation and to get it started.
Cool. So upfront cost. We'll talk about both those things. And hopefully after tonight, you'll have it'll make more sense what all those numbers mean. There's things that folks haven't thought about: upfront cost and overall cost. Yeah, why spend $60,000 on something that FPL is already doing a great job of doing for you, right? If all you have to do is pay your light bill, why go through the trouble? I think you're right, Christy. So who would you like to hear from next?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, this is Julie, and I'm supporting Sickles High School JROTC. I think the main reason that we haven't pursued solar is that we're in a townhome and it's a deed restricted community. It's something that needs to change in the future, but at present, also our electric costs aren't that high. We're paying, well, this last month was $90. Our highest might be 200, like in the middle of the summer. So we haven't really considered it for those reasons.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing those things. Those are all valid. Florida does have really inexpensive electric costs. I don't know if you guys know this, but you pay about a third of what a Californian would pay for the same amount of electricity. So anywhere from a half to a third. So those are all good reasons, Julie. Thank you for sharing. Who would you like to hear from next, or who would like to go next? Got any other hand raisers?
Hi, my name is Carlos Miranda. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm just gathering more information, I guess, trying to learn a little more.
It sounds like you knew the answer to a question earlier about what the minimum upfront cost for solar is. I saw you raise your
Well,
hand.
yeah, I know that you can get zero money down financing because I've been doing a little homework, but
Go ahead. So, Giselle, just so you know, if what Carlos just said was true, which I can confirm that it is, if you wanted to go solar, you could do it without paying a dime up front. The same way you walk into an iPhone store and you walk out with your iPhone and you have a monthly payment. And then it's just a matter of comparing your monthly payment that you currently have to the one that you could have and look at the different benefits and features of that. So you can take a breath. If you've ever wanted to use solar and you can afford your electric bill, you can afford to go solar. Don't have to, but you can. So Carlos, thank you for sharing that tidbit of information. We're going to talk about it again in a minute, most likely. So you're just gathering more information. Why do you think more folks aren't going solar already? What kind of things do you think?
perhaps the education, I think, is a big part of what's going on. People need to get better educated, I guess, on what exactly everything is about. And
Well, thanks for joining us and allowing us to do our favorite thing, which is to help folks learn that stuff. Welcome
thank
to
you for doing this. I appreciate it.
welcome to step one. Who would you like to hear from next? If you can see him on screen.
Hi, my name is Laura Rodriguez, and I'm also supporting Sobe. And also the same as Carlos, just we never got around to questioning about it, or it's just not something that we've brought up as an option for us. But
Well, that is 100% okay. Most of the people who registered said you were newbies. And so we didn't come expecting solar geniuses, but if there's any of y'all on here who are solar geniuses, you're welcome to run this instead of me. And if you've never thought about it before, understandable. Life is busy. You have enough other things to think about, especially during this last year, Laura. So thank you for joining us to learn tonight and go Sobe. So who's next? Looking for a hand or a volunteer? All right, we got a hand there from Juan. Let me ask you to unmute, Juan. If you can click your button and unmute.
There it is. Okay, sorry, I missed that. My name is Maribel Messas. I'm also supporting Somerset Academy Bay. And I think the same thing as everybody has said, the upfront cost, you know, that's scary from what we've heard. It's pretty high. But I'd like to hear more of the benefits and education. I feel like I haven't been well educated on it either. So I think that's, you know, I came on to hear a little bit more about that.
Well, did I spell your name correctly?
Yes, you did.
Thank you for showing up, Maribel. Glad you're here. Who's left? Like, all you gotta do.
Okay, that's gonna,
yes, sir, Juan.
okay, that's gonna be me. Hi, good evening, everybody. Just here representing EKB, and like everybody else, trying to get additional information. So I'm looking forward to the presentation.
Well, is there anything in particular that you would feel good about having used your time to learn about tonight that I can make sure that we share with you? Because this slide determines our conversation.
Well, basically, you can pick any subject on the matter, and it would all be enlightening to me. So, yeah.
Well, I can't fail tonight then.
That's correct.
That was a good one. Who's left? Looks like we've got 2 or 3, 4 more folks we want to give a donation for. If you can hop on and acknowledge yourself, just turn on your camera, say your name, do this fun exercise, and $50 is going to what you came to learn about. So I think we still have Lizette.
Bye.
All right, Lizette, your turn. Or it was Lizette. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. I think Lizette hopped. We'll let her back in as she comes back. Is there anybody on here who has not gone yet? I don't always see everybody's faces on the screen.
Hi, my name is Osneil Cruz. I'm also supporting Sobe. I'm the father of Emma Cruz. So pretty much the same idea and concept as far as overall cost, and a little more education and also options, whether it's just the roof panels and anything else that might entail or might
Ana
benefit.
Karina, y ay, pero yo empecé a hablar y no me cortaron.
Did I write down what you said in the short form, Osnio?
I second that.
I'm afraid I don't know.
All right, Lizette, your turn.
I think she's having issues with the microphone. I don't think she knows that that we can hear her.
Can anybody vouch for her that she's a real person? And
Yes,
not
she is. I can. He's also a Sobe grandparent.
Oh, we love Sobe grandparent. So
Yeah, I can vouch for her.
hello, Lizette. Glad that you're here. I think she might be able to hear us now. Just click that button. She says such a great smile. I want to hear what she has to say. Well, click in whenever you want to and interrupt us when you figure out how to use your microphone. You're halfway there. But is there anyone else who needs to go? Going once, going twice. Well, guys, if you came here for the fundraiser and you see the cat, it means we're done with that. That's it. So Ovanova is optional. We made it this way because we believe in giving first, because that's what the sun does every day. It just sends its light and we can do with it, whatever we want to. And because part of our mission is supporting community organizations. We don't do any marketing. We don't do any advertising. All we do is form partnerships with good causes who have good people who are willing to take some time to join this conversation and to help us create it for the world. And that's why we screen everything or stream everything on Facebook and YouTube. Right now, this is YouTube. So just know that this conversation we're having will help other people who don't get to raise funds learn about solar energy. So thank you all for being willing to help us create this conversation. But to show you how the experience goes, earlier today, you should have already gotten the design that has something like this. It looks a little bit like this. If you don't have it, look in your spam. Tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, we're going to send you this thing called open book pricing, which digs because you showed up. Everybody who registered gets this thing. Those of you who show up to learn, we're going to create something like this for you with completely transparent numbers about what it would take for you to go solar based on the information that you shared with us. The number of panels you would need. You'll see panel options at the bottom. You'll see how much we earn. Our service is provided because people in 15 states have chosen to go solar with us. It's a flat fee based on the size of your system. So if this person chose to use our service to go solar, 40 more people could show up and raise funds like y'all just did. Nothing else is required. Thank you for raising funds for an organization you care about. You'll see how much every little part costs, and you'll all get that tomorrow because you showed up tonight. We will never ask to send anybody to your home, or we won't pester you. We know that you're here to support a good cause. We know that you're here to learn and appreciate you giving us a chance to do it. But tonight's just an open conversation based on the information y'all just shared. And what I found is that it's easier to do this just one at a time. But is there anybody here on a time restriction that you know of that you would like to have your question answered first? Because we can not go in order if there's somebody who needs to catch a flight to get somewhere type situation. You can hop in line. Okay, so we're all on the same timeline, which is we're all busy because we're humans. So let's just go through this. Let's talk about the upfront cost that Giselle talked about and Christina talked about and Carlos talked a little bit about, but then Maribel brought up again. So here's how the pricing works in solar. What solar does, Carlos, would you mind speaking for the group so I just see you there. Can you unmute yourself and just be the person at the front of the board?
Hi, yeah, sure.
And it could be anybody else too, but thank you. I saw you.
No problem.
And since you're gathering more education, I'll just make sure my points are hitting home. So we start out with the upfront cost. Hey, what's up? We see you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Welcome. Congratulations. Another donation for Sobe. You want to introduce yourself real quick? Arguello family?
Yes. My name is Lisette, and I have my husband here next to me, and he has some questions regarding the solar panels.
Great. You want to ask them now, or do you want to wait and see if they're already on the slide, Mr.
Oh,
Arguello?
we can wait. Well, it's fine. You can continue and we'll see. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. So, all right. Oh man, Zooms are so strange. I know if we were sitting in the same room, we'd be having a lot of fun. But so Carlos, you said that it was okay with you if we do the upfront cost part first.
Ya, ahora sí ya no cogieron.
Sure. You got to mute her.
Aló, Ana Karina.
Carlos might have hopped off.
I'm here.
Okay. So front cost, an okay place to start.
Yeah, sure.
And Luke, I'm going to make you the co-host. If you can get our room quiet and clean, that would be good by finding out where that noise is coming from. And so upfront cost. First of all, solar costs as much upfront as you would like for it to cost. Some people see it as an investment. And here's 5 things to think about from an educational perspective. Day one, your electricity bill does not increase the value of your home, and your solar does. So Zillow just said that the average value is about a 4% increase if you go solar. Carlos, can you think of any reason why your house might appreciate in value if you install a power generation system on the roof?
Well, you're already spending money on your electric bill, so this would become more like an asset to your home than what you're doing, currently, I guess.
Right. And does paying your electricity bill do that?
No, you're paying, it's like renting.
Yeah. So if you have a $200,000 home and you add 4% value, that's $8,000. So if your solar costs $16,000 as an example, then you've recovered 50% of your investment day one, if you're looking at it from a numbers perspective. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And then traditional investments don't eliminate a lifelong monthly payment. Have you ever thought about the fact, like, what would you say your average utility bill is? Let's do some math together for the group.
About $250.
About $250. So do you have your iPhone with you where you can do some math?
Sure.
So the first question, without making any assumptions, for agreement says never make assumptions. Do you intend to continue using electricity for the rest of the time you're in that house or alive in general?
I believe so. Yeah.
So no plans to become Amish or anything.
No.
All right. So if you spend $250 a month, how much does that work out to for the year? So 250 times 12.
That's $3,000.
Right. And so do you happen to know how long a warranty is on standard solar equipment?
Not really.
It's 25 years. So that means that you could make electricity yourself guaranteed for 25 years. The panels last longer than that. The first ones from 1954 still work. But if you multiply that $3,000 times 25 years, what does that number work out to be?
$75,000.
Right. So what Carlos just said is that if he doesn't do anything about it over the next 25 years, if the price of electricity doesn't go up, how much are you going to spend over that period?
$75,000.
So you might see a number like $60,000 and it looks crazy. But if you're spending $250 a month, it's not on your credit report. It's not listed as a debt, but that's $75,000 that you are intending to spend. And so one thing about investing in solar is it gets rid of that payment. We'll talk about that in a second. So does that one make sense, Carlos?
Absolutely.
So do you know about the tax credit?
Yeah.
Do you know how much it is exactly? Or have you looked into that far enough?
26%. It came down from 30 to 26%.
That's right. It did fall from 30 to 26%. Do you know what it's 26% of?
Your income, it's your income.
It's 26%.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the amount of the system. I'm sorry.
That's right. So a $20,000 system would mean that Uncle Sam next year would tell you, Carlos, keep $5,200 instead of sending it to us. That's 26% of 20,000 is $5,200. So that is for every part that it takes to go solar, not just solar panels, but the entire installation, all the warranties and everything is covered under that. Even a new roof, the part that you need to, the part of the roof that's covered by solar also qualifies for the tax credit. So clear on that one?
Yep.
And then is there a certain amount in your 401k where all of a sudden your lights stay on after a hurricane?
No.
It's silly to think about, right? Like, so that's another reason people invest in solar, just because they don't want to spend a hotel for 2 weeks if a hurricane does come through, just to have electricity. And the last thing, and this is to speak more directly to what Giselle said and Christina said and Maribel said, is that it's not an either or proposition. You can keep your investments and you can get a loan for your solar that Carlos already knows about. And Carlos, what did you tell us the minimum amount was for a down payment on a solar loan?
Zero.
Zero. So you can go solar without spending a dime you weren't already going to spend. And I'm about to show you how all these numbers make sense. But before I do, I ask Luke, if he would, to share with you, we're about to go over a slide that shows you that this person spending $127 a month on electricity can get rid of that bill and have a $90 a month payment, saving $37. Somebody the other day asked, is this typical? So what they were really asking is this true for me too? So Luke, would you mind sharing with the people who are on here what we estimated worst case scenario based with these sloppy numbers, their savings would be?
Yeah, and so, excuse me. So the number on this slide and the numbers I'm about to talk about are based off a 0 down 21-year 4.5% loan. And so I'll just go through the list of everybody that showed up tonight. So thank y'all for showing up. And so for Carlos, day one, you can save $26.98. For Osniel, it's $38.10. Giselle, $30.16. Lizette, $19.25. Juan, it's $19.17. Laura, $12.44. Maribel, $38.41. And then Christina, $37.04, as well as Arnaldo is $15.01.
So thank you. So Luke misspoke. That's after your tax credit, not day one.
Yeah.
But you might have to pay a little bit more for 3 or 4 months, then your tax credit kicks in. And then everybody on here would be saving money monthly by using solar energy, unless we miss somebody. And sometimes there was somebody on last time who would have had to pay like $20 or $30 more per month. But everybody in this group would be in this scenario where, Carlos, let me ask you this, because sometimes this is jargony and there's a lot going on this page. Have you ever had chickens?
Like own them? No.
Yeah, like bok bok.
No.
So if you did own chickens and they laid 102% of the eggs your family ate, how many eggs would you have to buy from the grocery store?
0.
And so if your solar panels can lay 102% of the energy that you make, how much electricity do you have to buy from the electricity store?
None.
Right. So that's why this bill, $0 to get your solar operational. This bill becomes 0 minus the fixed fee, and that varies by who your utility provider is, and we help you figure it out. But the energy cost goes to 0. You can exchange that for a payment. Just, when you got your mortgage, did you have to keep paying rent and a mortgage, or did you use your rent money to pay your mortgage with?
Of course, you pay your mortgage. You don't have to pay rent anymore.
Right. This is your rent, guys. You have to pay people to do these crazy processes. But thank goodness they can, or else we wouldn't be able to have this conversation, right? Electricity is awesome. There's just a way that you can own it now. And that's what homeowners really like to find out. Of course, long-term, it's about half as much most of the time. But even in the short term, if you wanted to go solar and you can afford your electricity bill, then everybody on this call is losing money by not doing it. And that number Luke read is your worst case scenario, because there's a couple of $1,000s you'll see tomorrow built into each of these with this thing called an imperfect information fund, which is money that you'll probably get back. It's for weird situations we run into, so we don't have to ask you for more. So that's how the money works. Now let's talk about somebody said something about, well, the money's such an important issue that I always just like to stop and make sure we're all clear on what Carlos and I were just discussing. Does anybody have any follow-up questions about how all of that works, or any add-on comments or anything that you'd like for me to clarify before we move on? I'm speaking very slowly tonight. I can get really excited too. So any questions, or y'all good? I'm looking for confused faces and I don't really see any. So one last time, you can add value to your home, get rid of a never-ending bill, exchange it for a lower payment. So Giselle, does that make sense to you? Cool. Christina?
Hey, Lester, Naveen's got his hands raised, so one we probably get.
Oh, who does? Yeah, thanks for looking, Luke. Yep. Who does?
Naveen. He hasn't gotten a chance to introduce himself yet.
All right, cool. Yep. Where is he? I don't see him.
Right here. I'll ask him to unmute. Let's see. Want to make sure we Naveen get his donation in.
Asking you to unmute.
Who are you looking for?
Naveen, I've got him. Just asking him to unmute. Naveen, or Naveen's dad. All right, we'll get to him at the end. I see you raising your hand. He's saying that he's here. Thank you for being here. Let's get back to this, and then we'll catch you whenever you're ready, Mr. Naveen. So, Christina, we're clear on that.
Yes.
Upfront, Maribel, do you understand now there's no upfront cost if you want to do it that way?
Yes.
Cool. Never got around to thinking about it. Don't blame you. Gathering more information. So, Carlos, do you think some good information to share with people, and maybe for you, would be like how it actually works and how you have electricity at night and all that stuff?
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's show you how that works. So this is a picture of a home. I'm going to turn my little laser pointer on. These are solar panels, or at least an artistic representation of solar panels, and they turn sunlight into electricity. They do not store electricity, which most people don't know, but they're very good at making it. But the kind of electricity they make is direct current. The kind your home uses is alternating current. So you have to have a converter. So, you have like a USB, or you have different cables and you have converters. Well, in solar, that thing is called an inverter, and it turns the direct current into the alternating current. So when you go solar, there's two technical pieces that you need that you don't have, plus the equipment to fasten it to your house. You'll see that all in your design tomorrow. Panels, inverters, and then it's called racking. The good news is that during the day, you make so much electricity, even after it's converted, that your home can't use it all. And so you actually stay connected to FPL. You don't have to, but that's a longer story for a different time. The way 99% of people go solar is they stay connected to their utility company, because there's actually really good agreements in most parts of Florida, FPL being one of those places, Duke being another, Tico being another, where they will allow you, when you make extra energy, to just put it up on the shelf. It's called net metering. And then later on, you exchange the credits whenever you were making more than you needed for electricity at night or during rainy days, whenever you aren't making enough electricity. So I'm going to talk about a battery in a second. Actually, I'll go ahead. This has all been good so far. So let me share something bad about solar with you. If you go solar and you don't have a battery, you will not have electricity even after a storm. The reason why is because you're a power producer who's putting electricity back on the lines. And like, Carlos, what do you hope people are doing after a storm from FPL with these lines?
Fixing them if they're broken.
Right. And so if somebody's fixing it and you're putting electricity on it, what could happen to that poor person?
They can electrify them or electrocute them.
Right. And so that's why you won't have power. There's a signal that shuts it down. But if you would like power after a hurricane, you can get a battery, and it does the same thing a generator does, except for its fuel is sunlight instead of gasoline. So you don't have to worry about getting to the store to fill it up or cranking it up. It kicks on 4 milliseconds after the grid goes down. So that's all this, but most people don't get batteries, and it looks something like this. They use their power company as the battery. So here's a friend in Texas who bought $93 worth of electricity When do you think, Carlos, he bought that electricity? What time of the day, or what do you think was going on whenever he was still buying it from the utility company? He has solar.
I didn't get the question. I'm sorry.
When does the sun not shine?
Oh, at night. Okay.
Okay. So he was buying electricity at night, $93 worth, but during the day, he made $107 more than his house needed. So at the end of the month, the utility company actually owed him $15. Have you ever seen a negative utility bill before? It's kind of fun. That's what I mean by, oh, wow, this thing's going to keep coming forever. And in your case, it's going to be $75,000. Or you could make your electricity yourself, and it works like rollover minutes. So $15 this month, they owed him 41 the next, almost 25 the next. Then he traded these credits in February. There was an ice storm in February, and he had to pay them $1.43, which was pretty solid. The good news is that the sun comes up every day. And as long as your panel's working, which they're guaranteed to do for 25 years, then your inverter's working, which they're guaranteed to do for 12 to 25 years, depending on what you get, then you're going to be producing electricity. During some parts of the year, you're producing more than you use. Like the springtime, when there's a lot of sun and your air conditioners aren't on yet, like in July and August. And then when you need that later on, when you are using more than you're making, like rollover minutes, you just trade your credits in like this. And then with FPL and TICO, you have 12 months to use those credits. So you can make electricity in March, and you don't have to make electricity in January, and you can use it in December. That's why most people stay with their power company, even though there's a small monthly charge, because they buy your electricity from you immediately. And to know that, you guys ever heard there's an app for that? Here's an example of an app from John's phone from earlier today that shows you at all points in time how much you're making, what the weather's like, how much money you're printing up from the sunshine falling on your house. And if there's something that's malfunctioning, you'll know as fast as you would get a Facebook alert that something's off. So that's technically how solar works. You work as a partner with your utility company. You use their electricity whenever you need it. You sell them back what you don't need. They give you a credit for it with this thing called a bidirectional utility meter. And over the course of the year, it evens out. And so even if you can't make 100% of the electricity you need, so you might have gotten your design and you can see at the bottom that some people can make 100%. Maybe yours says 50%. Whatever number it is how much space you have using the equipment that we used. But you just buy the rest of it from FPL. So does anybody have any questions about technically how that works? Because where did anybody learn anything there that you didn't know before? A lot of people don't know that you stay connected to your power grid. So yeah, good. Osniel, I believe that you got your hand up.
Yeah, so question, is the roof panel the only option, or are there other options to panels?
It's almost like I paid you to be here. So you can get them on the roof. It's good to get them on the roof because they protect your roof from sunlight and direct weather. However, you do not have to get them on your roof. If you have a bunch of space, you might just want to throw them out in the yard. If you're big into aesthetics and you have a honeydew list and your wife has been begging you or your partner's been begging you for a pergola, then you can build a pergola. If you're a dad that's been thinking about that outdoor pizza kitchen and you wanted to save enough money on electricity to build it, go ahead and get that outdoor kitchen. Throw some solar panels up on the top to be the roof. You can do it that way. You can do it however you want it. It costs more to do it that way, but some people don't really care how much it costs. They think solar's cool. They know they're going to save themselves enough money to build a structure like this. And you can do it however you want, But just so you know, however you do it, we're going to use all black panels that we think are kind of beautiful. And you even have a chance to camouflage them if you need to for your HOA. This is kind of silly. I wouldn't do this. I'm an energy purist, and this knocks down the amount of energy they make by about 10%, and it costs more. But if you want camo on to survive your HOA, then you can totally do it that way. And that's a really good question. Does anybody else have any other questions about stuff like that? Here's something that might answer a question you'll have when you look at your design. If you wonder why we put your panels where we put them, like for example, with this family, it's not like we couldn't have easily installed panels over here or on the north. But the reason we chose the place that we did is because a southern exposure, one panel facing south will make as much electricity as 1.5 facing north. So south is great. East and west is fine, and north is better than nothing. So if you see that we used your north face, it was just an attempt to get you to as close to 100% as possible, but you don't have to have them there, and you would save more money in the short term without them. So our designs weren't intended to try to sell you as many solar panels as possible. They were designed with this number in mind that you gave us when you registered about what your average utility bill was. And then we created the number of panels that we needed to produce that amount of electricity, which you can see is listed, you know, this is 24,000 kilowatts. So even without being back in touch with us, you can see if we got that number right or if it's off. These are really great questions, but that's why we made the choices that we made on the designs that you're seeing. If anybody has any questions about their specific design, anything we've covered, any other questions at all, or you just like to see the process for how you would do it if you wanted to, we can talk about any of those things. Any suggestions?
I have a quick question regarding hurricanes. If a hurricane comes and, you know, destroys your roof and rips off the panels, is that covered under homeowners insurance?
We make sure that it is if you go solar with us. If somebody has gone solar with somebody else, I can't promise you that. But one of the steps of our process is making sure that you were adequately covered. And that would be an example of something that would be covered as our hurricane damage. But in order to try to prevent that as much as possible, we actually do these things. Part of going solar involves taking some measurements so that we can create an engineered drawing with your system. This is all the fancy one-line diagrams. If there's any contractors, you might have seen these before. And what this does is this makes sure that it complies with whatever is required in your area. And guess what they make sure it's good at doing in Miami? Withstanding wind. You can't even get a permit to put them on your house if they won't withstand, I believe it's 140 to 145 mile per hour winds. That varies county by county. But we also know that if an Andrew type hurricane comes, that no engineering will save you from that. So if your house blows away, like the roof blows away, usually your solar panels don't blow away unless your roof blows away if they are installed correctly. But if your roof and solar blows away, it is covered in your insurance. And that's one step that we make sure that we check on. So that's a really good question. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything like that? It's all been a good audience. Carlos, thank you for making it more conversational. So Laura never got around to thinking about it. Don't blame you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Osniel's learning and options. Julie, we'd have to talk to you individually about this and just see. Never heard of that before, but I think we're working with one in Durham right now too. If it's like, Trey, isn't that what the Durham Land Trust is a deed restricted community?
I'm not sure if it's specifically a deed restricted community, but it's a similar scenario where there's a trust and like there's like shared ownership of the property in the home. So there's just, you know, essentially one more step to have to go through to understand to be able to go solar. But it's something that we as Ovanova are learning a lot about and are like proactive in trying to help figure out a solution for to go solar if anyone has those scenarios or situations.
Thanks. So Juan, let me share some more information to enlighten you about what the actual process is. And then I think I'm just about out of stuff to talk about unless people have some specific questions. This is the process to go solar. A lot of times people say, I don't even know where to begin. So part one takes from under an hour to many years. So we're 40 minutes into it now. You're probably less than an hour away at this point from choosing what you need to choose to go solar. Part one's exploring and learning. Tonight, the initial design, tomorrow's your open book pricing. After you get it, you'll see that there are plenty of ways in there that are saying, if you would like to continue the conversation, book a time for a Zoom. We don't have any salespeople. It's just me and John and Luke and Holly. And we have plenty of time to talk to the folks. And this is all on your timeline. There is never any rush from Ovanova. The rush is provided when you become aware that you have a never-ending bill that you could get rid of. And you realize that it's not like snapping your fingers and ordering a television from Amazon. It's actually a process. But the first part is to figure out exactly what you need. Most of y'all probably just guessed that number. I forgot to say Trey. Trey's on the team too. Sorry, Luke, Holly, John, and Trey. Trey wanted some attention there. So Trey can help you as well. So you get a personal Zoom where we say, okay, you need this many panels because of this is your exact usage that you shared with us. This is where you want to put them. This is your HVAC situation and your hot water situation. And that takes not very long at all. That's a short conversation unless it needs to be longer because maybe you want a pergola. Maybe you want a solar carport. Maybe you want that. And that's okay too. You can get whatever you want. We don't have this thing that we try to sell you. We just work with you to figure out how you can make your own electricity from sunlight the way you want to at the lowest cost you can. That's what we do. And so the first thing is, how many panels do you need and what equipment do you want to use? Maybe you want batteries so you can have power after a hurricane. Maybe you just want to save as much money as possible. Maybe you only want to use the most efficient roof planes to save as much as you can for month one instead of looking at it overall. Those are all things that we can talk about and listen to you talk about, no problem. And then you get to decide, how do you want to pay for it? You can pay zero down like Carlos just told us about tonight, or you can pay for it all up front and look at it like an investment as the only investment that you know that every day those panels come on. You don't know. The stock market usually is up overall, but it's got some ups and downs. The sunshine has an up and down every single day, but what it does for you is up because it makes electricity for you every day that you don't have to buy from someone else. So that's a return on your investment that you can count on. So it's up to you how to pay for it. It basically just comes down to how much interest do you want to pay. Those numbers that we gave y'all earlier for your monthly savings were zero down, 21 year, 4.5% loan. There are a billion loan options available, shorter, longer. That's just the one we use because we know it's easy to qualify for and easy to do if you want to do it. But that's up to you. But the money you use to pay it with is your electricity bill that goes away. So that's the last thing I'm going to say about that tonight, is that you are not talking about buying something extra. We're talking about investing in something that will provide a service called electricity for you that you don't have to pay somebody else to do. And you can use the money you were giving them to pay for your solar panels, increase the value of your home. That can also take many years because maybe I spoke too loudly and scared y'all away tonight and caused you to not like solar anymore. Maybe my breath smells bad and you can smell that through the computer. Like maybe you just want to do it your own way and life gets busy and sweeps you up. But it won't take long if you want to do it. There's an easy way to be in touch. Here's the part that takes a while. Is it even one if you said, all right, I'm ready to do it. I've got a big wad of cash in my pirate's chest in my backyard. Like, let's do it. And it would still take 3 weeks to 4 months because have you ever tried to build anything before and needed a permit? Like, that's up to the county. Now, if any of y'all have connections with the county, you might be able to, help us speed these things along a little bit because they don't have to take that long. But what we do with the information you share with us is we get the permit ready to go in a plan set that we can hand to a contractor. And if you want that contractor to be your brother or sister or nephew or whomever you trust who is properly licensed, they can totally have the job. We don't earn money from picking our contractors. The money goes to the contractor, so you can choose your own if you've worked with somebody you trust, or you can do it yourself. The equipment gets delivered to your home or to the electrician's office, whatever you prefer. The good news is it only takes 1 to 3 days to put it up. Even these big systems with batteries might take 4 days tops. So it's not a month-long job where somebody's messing up your kitchen and tracking dust in and out. It's a quick thing once all the permits are done, and we can make sure it can be done legally and safely. And then you wait again, and that depends on where you live. It could be a week, it could be a couple of months, but the good news is the county comes and inspects it to make sure that it's installed and not going to blow away in a hurricane, and your electricity comes to put that new bidirectional utility meter on to keep track of how much they need to pay you and make sure that that works. And when those things happen, your system is activated. And then if you use our service, we give you a rebate for anything that you do not, for anything that we do not use. So in the designs that I was showing you, that's what this imperfect information fund is. Sometimes our equipment pricing is off, but what this number you have is, it won't be more than that. Like, we would eat it. If this is the electricity that you need to make, and this is the way that you would like your system designed, if those two numbers are correct, then the rest of these numbers are correct. And so at the end, what we usually do is what we always do, if there's a rebate, only one time hasn't been the case, and that was my fault because I put the wrong type of equipment on there like an idiot one day. John doesn't make those kind of mistakes, but you get this back. That's what the Ovanova rebate is. It's like, you pay what we pay for the equipment that we use for your job. So we have a service fee that allows us to continue to give money to good organizations. Here's a couple of places to get more quotes from if you're interested in solar but don't like us for whatever reason. Energy Sage is a good place. Tesla is always a good place if you happen to fit the box and you don't want batteries. They don't have a good battery solution, or as good as it could be. Power walls are cool, but there's better solutions. And Project Sunroof, those are 3 places I'd recommend if you wanted to go get some other quotes and looking to go in solar, but you don't want to do it with us. So, but one thing that we do is that we give money away to good causes, and it's the only way we talk to people. So our money to give y'all came from people in Texas and Florida and Tennessee. We charge this to do the job as far as all the permits and all the stuff combined to make it turnkey. This is not your job. This is this person's job. Your numbers are yours. I'm just showing you how to read this right now. And once you've looked at it, then you're just say, okay, well, I don't want panels here. Maybe I want some different panels. I want to ask this question. It's as easy as clicking a link and picking a time to hop back on, and we'll be glad to spend as much time as you would like helping you understand. Get on a few minutes, found information very useful. Thanks, Luke and Trey. Oh, so Trey didn't want attention. Luke wanted Trey to have attention. I just saw that in the comments box. So,
so I was able to actually finish all the open books. So instead of getting them tomorrow, y'all have actually already gotten them. So thank y'all for staying on, asking so many great questions.
Yeah, so you've already received that then. Mm-hmm. Who else are we? So that's the process with us. The process with anybody else would be reaching out for quotes and then trusting whatever information they give you. They could probably explain it. They usually have ways to pay for it. There are a lot of local communities. There's a lot of other good organizations. We don't care who you go solar with. We would just love for you to go solar. And we created our service to work in partnership with communities to make it as easy and inexpensive as possible for you to do so. You pay wholesale with your equipment from us. You pay what we pay. We show you the receipts and we give you a rebate at the end if you chose to do it. But that's not a decision that needs to be made now. The only choice that needs to be made is, if I could save some money to do something good for the planet, would I want to continue learning about it? And if so, there's a link in your email to take the next step. There's a lot of information in there, and feel free to use us as a resource so that we can continue our mission serving communities. So that's my spiel for tonight. But I'm open to as many questions as you guys have, and I'm grateful for you coming to support the communities you supported. Mr. Arguello, do you have any questions from you weren't able to ask earlier?
No, I don't have any question.
Cool. Did you learn anything tonight that was useful?
That you can save some money.
I think if everybody just learned that, it would be a good use of our time to spread that information. Let your friends know that they can save money using solar energy, and it would be good for everybody on the planet. That's a good thing too. So, well, what else, sir, would y'all like to know about? Talk about? Know any jokes?
Basically, you provided all the necessary information.
Well, thank you for being here to receive it. Thank you for supporting a good cause. Feel free to invite anybody you would like. We do this 6 times a week, and it's our favorite thing to do. Let's see if there's anything else in chat.
Thank you.
I'll log off. Giselle, thank you for being here. Carlos, thank you for speaking for the group. It's awesome to have y'all. Juan, is there anything else on your mind tonight, sir?
You cover everything that I can think of. It's been a good presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Grateful to have you. Sorry for not making it more conversational and preaching at y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
What else? Anybody else have anything you'd like to share? Osnio? Rodriguez family? Arguellos?
No question.
Naveen? All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Let us know if we can be a resource. It's super easy. You just click this and pick a time, and we'll be right here on Zoom again. But we won't bother y'all. Thank y'all for coming up.
Thank you.
Good night. And that concludes our service today of the Ovanova fundraising and solar exploration experience on YouTube. And
In the
everywhere
name
else.
of the Father and the Son and the setting sun.
Wherever easy fundraising and good support of community organizations is available, so are we. So thank y'all for coming.
All 15 people pretty much stayed the entire time.
That's a lot of fun now, you know. We're talking about things that are relevant to them. I felt like I had a stroke halfway through that. I was like half saying words, but it also slowed me down enough to communicate things maybe.
It was the vaccine.
How the vaccine got me. My genetic upgrade has destroyed my ability to speak. What an evil plan. So, all right. Speaking of genetic upgrades, I'm going to go see the dentist tomorrow, get healthy. But
hey, question. Just Giselle's the one that has the deed situation. Is that right?
It's on the slides.
Okay. Just remind me, and then when one of us is doing follow-ups, I can look into it or whatever.
Yeah. It's on the slides. I already deleted her, but if I could probably go back and
go back.
It took me 50 minutes to send
Julie.
out.
No, wasn't Giselle.
Julie.
It was Julie.
It took you how long to send out how many?
45 minutes, send out 12 open books.
You're getting pretty good. 4 minutes a pop.
Yeah.
So is that with having the skeletons already set up? Ready
The
to go?
skeletons were already set up. It's just going back, adding pictures, sending it. Yeah. The skeleton took me forever to do. It took from when I started until the open book. Or until
when you say skeletons, that means like you you copy a open book for each person, put their name, address, and all that stuff, or what do you mean?
Name, address, monthly bill, percentage from Open Solar. And then I basically just put the 4.5% 21-year loan in there.
Gotcha.
Just put that number. Yeah.
It's 4.5% or it's
4.49 after they sign up for auto pay from Easy Solar Loan. So if you're watching this wondering, where can I get a good solar loan? There's a lot of crazy solar loans with all the kinds of fine print where you end up paying 10 to 25%, even extra just to access the loan. But then you can get some really good long-term rates, like 25 years. I think there's even 30-year solar loans now. If you know that you're never, ever, ever, ever interested in paying it off early or whatever, it's an easy way to do it, you know. But I like the 21-year loan because it's long enough to be able to see even on a monthly basis that it makes sense to do without inflating the price of energy at all.
Are those the cards in your hand? You just play with them?
I just have them. So,
Yeah.
So Luke, if you could run your own country, what would it be like?
Completely, everybody has complete autonomy. And slowly but surely, laws get made when people take their autonomy too far.
I think we tried that before.
We did, yeah.
So, Trey, what are you working towards that you could use help with?
What am I working towards? Integrating like all passions, loves, and like aspects of my life into a profession and into like my expression and ultimate ability to help and work with people and, you know, make a living.
Luke, what challenge do you want to overcome?
Getting out of my head.
Yeah, it's a bad place to be. I can't see you in there.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know how you hid so well, but man, get out of there. What does your head tell you? Like, why do you not like being in there?
Lots of bad things. That don't need to be discussed over YouTube.
They don't need to be discussed on YouTube.
It's okay to be in your head. You just can't like, you can't just only be in your head. You got to like acknowledge the thoughts that are in your head and
yeah,
treat yourself well and know that you don't have to just be in your head.
Yeah.
Or you could share it all and we could have a sliced out video that says Luke shares all of his insecurities and vulnerabilities.
I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I think we gotta get a bigger follower base first.
That's how you have a big following, is you just tell them. But yeah, hope you get out of your head too. I stay in my head sometimes and kind of like it. It's a good place to be once you get it all right. But
yeah,
sometimes it's a terrible place to be. And I think just about every human in the world can relate to that. And the people who can't are like, I don't really know about them. You know, I don't know if they're capable of self-analysis, but which is kind of scary. So Trey, what was your childhood dream?
Oh gosh. I wanted to be a zoologist. I loved animals. I just wanted to hang around with animals all the time. That was one, like, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I was a kid, when I was a really young kid. That's one thing I remember.
You seem like the kind of human that would have a kind of heart for animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are all the questions we don't get most of the time. These are like the throwaway questions.
Gotcha. That's why I like studied biology and science and life sciences, was just understanding the natural world and having appreciation for the way the natural world works.
Well, I appreciated your ability to tell me what kind of plants we were looking at. So that was cool.
Yeah, cool. Good.
That was real cool. It's like my favorite thing when someone can tell me that. My grandfather used to just do that all the time.
Nice. Old folk knowledge.
It's useful.
John's sister's former partner is the best. Kyle Doobie. Yeah, he's the best plant recognizer I've ever seen in my life. So
nice.
Yeah. So when you guys, whenever really bored people happen to make it to this point in the video, 10 years from now, if BioCraft design still exists, you want to know like the biggest, hippiest nerds you could possibly find to like super sustainable, regenerative agriculture, landscaping, or whatever, you could do worse than paying those guys to give you a consultation. They're good. Luke, what's a defining moment in your life and how did it impact you?
Defining moment in my life is probably tearing my shoulder for the first time.
Ooh.
Because I didn't react very well.
Oh man, what does that mean?
I basically just like was 13 years old, tore my shoulder, wanted to be a college lacrosse player, and then basically fell into the trap of I'm never going to be able to do this. And so obviously I didn't.
Damn.
Yeah.
Could have been
I just got off with Nianta and Bill. Just.
Wow, we're on YouTube still, so you know what we do with person identified.
Ask John a question. Ask John a question.
So John, tell us, you just finished a consultation with some very intelligent people in Austin, Texas, and they had a lot of questions, it seems like, because you talked to them for almost 2 hours. What did they say? Anything that you hadn't heard or thought about before?
No, they were just awesome, curious, intelligent people asking good questions. I mean, it was fun. I'm actually going to send, because we're on, JD, who called me and asking some questions about solar, this link. But it was good. They seemed to express lots of gratitude for the time and energy, and said it was helpful and it was good feedback, and they were fun. So I went to my cell phone signal, so I actually didn't have that crazy lag and terrible service.
It's a shame to be brought down by the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
Powers that be are trying to cancel you before this gets out of control.
How was the OC?
That's the
I
boys.
give it two thumbs up. If I had 4 thumbs, I'd give it 4 thumbs up, but I don't have 4 thumbs.
I'll add my 2 for your 4 try.
All right, appreciate it. I thought it was great, John. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
It was like super thorough. It was organized. It was like everybody was super involved. Like Carlos was really smart, and it seemed like everybody stayed the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. Giving them a reason to stay.
Yeah.
Probably one of the reasons they stayed.
Right. They stayed engaged. Like you two helped to activate them to stay engaged and continue to be a participant in the conversation.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Whoa.
I can always do better, but I'm always grateful for the time we have. I just never know.
Yeah.
I just have so many different gears I can shift into. And that was like the slow kind of, I was boring myself, but I was knowing that it's probably a better way to speak. I just had that slow explainer mood come on instead of like the happy jovial host kind of guy that I can be sometimes. I never know how it's going to go before it starts. I wish I did. Like I have a general concept of where it's going to go, but I don't know for sure where it's going to go.
Nobody ever knows for sure exactly where anything's going to go, but you've done it enough, and you did a good job. And of course, everybody can always do better, but I liked it. I mean, compared to like the ones I was watching and observing a few weeks ago, it's like strides and better. So
Trey,
awesome.
you're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you see that cat, it means we're done with that. Enough praise for a mediocre performance. Like, grateful to have y'all though. I went to see JD hops on. Wouldn't it be cool if the YouTube at the very end had somebody that like didn't care about their personal information being shared, so that we could just do some our first
Who's
YouTube
JD?
video,
Is it just some guy that y'all have been talking to
He's a book man.
Yeah, dude.
He sold Family Heritage Insurance with me.
He's in that he's in that over a year category now.
He sold solar. He literally sold solar door to door, sold Family Heritage, sold books, and he's gonna be an Ovanova customer as soon as he sells himself on. Now he's like refinancing his house and paying for his solar that way, and it's just taking a while.
Where is he at? Where does he live?
South Carolina.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Right outside Greenville, South Carolina.
Cool, man. Cool,
I think
dude. Right on.
Yeah, I guess I should probably just dial his numbers in, huh?
Greenville's Clemson, isn't it?
Hey, have we followed up with the gentleman, the other book man? What was his name? Was his name Nathan?
Rowdy?
Yeah. He was in Washington?
Oh yeah, Nathan. Good memory.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have, I mean, there's so many people that if we just followed up, we've moved projects forward. It's just
Right.
like, I mean, it's 9:04 p.m. Abby just walked in the door, and I haven't stopped doing what I've been doing like this all day. And I don't think Lester has. Minus a small walk.
So we got
I took a walk this afternoon, and I think that's probably something that would be good for me to do daily.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
A long walk through the woods. And it was amazing. I thought about a question that Niyata actually brought up today. I was wondering, I wonder why there isn't more granular level data about what in your house is using the electricity that it's using, and kind of surprised that it wasn't, and just figured it's such a low amount compared to an industrial setting where that data would be very useful, that it just hasn't done. And then they're like, oh, we're in a test program. where they measure all the different devices in rooms. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Like that's a good beginning of collecting the type of data to help everybody's homes be way more efficient. Or you could just use common sense and say, oh, it's heating stuff, right? It's heating water and it's heating air.
They have an AI package for like stores or Humless and Solark, where you can actually operate and measure 12 circuits in your house, which is pretty cool. It's like $2,500 cost of equipment. I don't know what the installation extra cost would be. I
Explain measure or operate.
Do what?
Explain that better.
Like it's, essentially it's a smart breaker. So you can turn it on, you can turn it off, and you can see exactly how much electricity is being consumed instantaneously. Yeah. It's called the AI package. I think 25
monitors that and makes it more efficient by learning patterns and habits.
Yeah, that's another scale of efficiency and measuring. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't think it works like Lester just said though.
I didn't know either. It's one of the things Vivint I would give them credit for. All the smart home systems done right and connected well, they could make a big difference in energy efficiency for homes.
Yeah, they've got a Snoop Dogg commercial now. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off so I don't sleep until noon again today, because I needed that earlier today.
Did you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
No, I got Pfizer. The Johnson & Johnson one just got banned because of 6 people that had blood clots, 6 women.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Sam got the Johnson & Johnson one yesterday, and he's like out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's no good. I mean, his immune system's probably like not so hot right now.
I've just been sleepy all day, just tired. But
yeah.
So I'm gonna go to bed. But good night, y'all. Good night, YouTube. I will see y'all in the morning.
John, let's go ahead and send Mac, since he's the first person to come through from his organization, and just test out his link, $50, and then tell him that we'll send the rest of them on Fridays.
So is the new fundraiser guy?
Yeah.
Next.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and get off YouTube.
JD said he's gonna call in 15 minutes, so let's get that done. It's a PayPal thing.
Yeah. PayPal link.
What's the link?
I'll go tell you.
If you guys are gonna stay on and talk to JD, I may just take a break with my dog and then come back and listen. That's cool.
He's probably just gonna call and it's gonna be a quick conversation. But
all right, never mind that.
We see what happens right now. I'm just gonna. What's that number? What's that email, Lester?
I'm looking for it, John. I'm in the Ovanova email instead of my email currently, and that's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah, the open book pricing.
How much?
To Bill. Yeah, Neonta and Bill are super cool. I love really smart people.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really awesome work with like criminal justice stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
Yeah, I learned about him 2 years ago. Whenever we were getting introduced to Neonta, I always like to learn about people. He's done a lot of really good work. He's done a lot of really smart, incisive things. So he teaches at Austin at the university. I'm looking for that thing, Mac Coil, PayPal, logos and PayPal link. It's a great choice. Energyevents.org. Mac said he's ready to go solar already.
Woody Weaver. It was cool meeting your dad, Woody.
Yeah. He's great. Oh, my dad.
Cool. Dude, yeah, I mean, my mom, like, my mom and dad are like, similar in the way that they are just cool, laid back, confident folks, and just like, you just have cool parents, man.
Yeah, they're great. They're really great. It took me some years to like genuinely appreciate them, but now like I'm an adult, they're adults, and we really love each other, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a spectacle, man. Like he gave Sam's wife a hug he like wouldn't like, he just loves to talk. He loves to like be a gentleman in his own right, which sometimes is slightly over the top or whatever, but yeah, he's great. He's definitely confident and outspoken and likes what he likes.
Yeah, there you go. Cool dude though. I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
super cool.
You found it?
No,
Bye.
Found it.
I'm looking for it.
Found it.
You found it?
No, did it come to me too? I'll look.
I sent it to you maybe when I was talking to him 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to figure out if I put it in my history. Got it somewhere. Thanks, Parker G, for the introduction to Mr. Coyle. Parker G is a fine friend who is in Denver working with Sunrun, another solar organization a lot of people like to use for their transition.
Is it in the Ovanova email?
It's not in the Lester email, even though it seems like it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I have his number. You just text him for it. But
It might be in a text. That could have been how he sent it. I'll find it and send it to you as soon as it comes, but there's no need to do any more tonight.
All right, I'll see y'all cats in the morning.
All right, I'm ready to
All right.
hop off.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. I won't be on in the morning. I'll be on for yoga, but I won't be on after that for probably 1 o'clock.
Because you're going to the dentist.
Yeah,
You're gonna get your teeth right.
We hope so.
All right,
good luck.
that
Good
too.
luck and enjoy, Lester. Good job.
Thanks. Thanks, John. I figure worst case scenario, I find out I've got 6 months left, and I'll probably do the best OCs ever. Regular case scenario, I'll just go to the dentist. So
I mean, if we got 6 months to fight cancer, we can fucking beat that shit. No big deal.
yeah, well, John would be mad at me if I left, but the rest of y'all will probably be happier. Talk to you guys soon.
Just put peroxide in your mouth and use it like mouthwash.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Didn't help. That's why I gotta go to the dentist.
All right. See ya.
You can oil pull too. Oil pull. Have you oil pulled?
Yeah, twice a day for 2 weeks. Didn't help. So time to go seek medical advice.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all soon.